is where did you grow up?
In Spokane, Washington.
In Spokane.
My school was called Xavier, St. Xavier. I was raised a Catholic, and at 13, you get your confirmation in the church, and you have to wear a bridal veil and all that.
Oh, wow.
When I first got introduced to the Catholic Church when I was 6, we had to wear a veil and all that, white dress and all that.
Oh,
That
wow.
was really interesting.
That's really cool.
So my mom and grandma bought me 2 pretty dresses. I wish I had pictures.
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
don't.
And then what was the occupation? Like, what did your mom do for a living?
She cleaned white folks' house.
Oh, okay. And then what did your dad do?
I don't know.
You're not sure?
I didn't meet my dad until I was 17.
Oh, wow. And then, so when you lived in Washington and your dad lived out here?
No, he lived, I'm not sure, Stockton maybe? I don't know. You know, he went around.
Yeah.
He used to hop on trains, you know.
Oh, and then just go wherever the train took him.
Rolling Stone, huh?
Yeah. And then, do you know how your mom and your dad met?
Huh?
Do you know how your parents
You
met?
know, I certainly don't. I really don't know how they met.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And he was a little guy, and he was part Chinese.
Was he?
So Aunt Annabelle would call him China. Come on, China. And I have a granddaughter, and I named her China.
Oh, wow.
But her mom named her something else, but I call her China. I've got some pictures of my grandkids, some of them.
Who do you call China? Which kid?
You know, I really don't know the number. You know what I mean?
No, who's the mother?
That's a good question.
Oh.
I don't know the mother, but this is, I think it's Jeremiah's little girl.
Oh, okay, it's Jeremiah. That's what I meant. Who's the parent? One of Jeremiah's kids you call China.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then,
I'll get the picture. I got it.
Oh, okay. I know he has kids. I can't keep up with them.
You know what?
Jerry, I said I can't keep up with his kids.
I know. I can't either.
And then how many children were in your family?
There was 5 girls.
5 girls, no brothers. And then you're the youngest.
I'm the youngest. The last of the Mohican.
Yeah. Mohican, is that your...
That's an Indian name.
That was your Indian name.
Right.
And then, was it your mom that was Native American?
You know, I don't know, but, you know, Aunt Annabelle told me a lot, you know, about being Native American.
Yeah.
And when I was about 15, my mother, I would have to go out and chop the wood. And going out, there's a picture of some Indians, an Indian man with his feathers, and the wife, you know, and she said, that's your grandma and your grandpa.
Oh, okay. But you never met them.
I never met them.
No, it's supposed to be your mom's parents.
Yeah.
Your grandma and grandma's side. But did your mom ever talk about Native American?
No, she didn't. My mom was a very quiet woman. She loved the Lord very much, and we went to church every day. I would have to sing in the choir every day. Funerals I had to sing, and I wouldn't even know who died.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind
wow.
of thing. Yeah.
And then, how was like your community that you grew up in? How was that? The dynamic, was it more?
My mom and Graham lived in this house on 1328 East Wabash, and I'm living here in this place, and it's 328 San Pablo. It's almost the same address.
It's here. Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Can you recall any type of story from your childhood, like your young childhood? Is there any stories that you remember the most?
Oh, I remember I used to have a habit of hitchhiking.
Really?
And
At what age was this?
I was about 15, 16. And my mom said, don't you go out there hitchhiking, Katherine. I said, okay.
Where would you go?
I'm going downtown to meet my sister Janine, so we can go into these different bars and things. And But kita no, mama ya go oh. So we could do that, you
Yeah.
know, and that was our thing
Your
for,
thing.
you know, the Black History kind of thing. You know,
Yeah.
we would go and make like we was African, and they'd wait on us.
Oh.
But if we talked English, oh, they wouldn't let you in
Oh,
there.
that's interesting. That it wasn't
Yeah.
even just the skin; it was what you were saying.
Yeah,
instead.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then, are there any particularly happy, funny, sad, or instructive lessons you learned while growing up?
Well, there was the lesson I learned about hitchhiking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and one time I was going downtown to meet my sister Janine, doing our thing, and I missed the bus. And this soldier comes along. Lady, you want to ride? And I said, oh yeah, I get in his car. He's a soldier. Got on his uniform. Where are you going? I'm going downtown to meet my sister. What time are you going to meet her? 5:30. He said, oh, it's only 5 o'clock. You got plenty of time. And he took me down to the river. And the river goes along like this. And you have to turn and go back up. You can see the reflection of the lights of the city. And he saw the lights, knowing that he was kind of backtracking. And he said, oh, shoot, I'm going the wrong way. So he stopped his car, backs up, starts off 30 miles an hour, and I jumped out of the car.
Jumped out of the car?
Yeah. Broke my tailbone.
Oh
Yeah. And I got up and I ran up to some white folks' house. And I told them, this man's trying to rape me. But before I got to these white people, he was right behind me. He jumped out of his car and had his hand almost on my shoulder. And I looked back like that, and his car was going into the river. And I told him, you better get your car, it's going in the river. Oh, he stopped in a minute and got away. I got away.
wow.
And that, stopped me from.
That was your last time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. What was it like growing up in Spokane, Washington?
Well, it was kind of lonely, and I had one little girl named Mary Patricia, a little white girl lived across the street, and she played with me, and I played with her. And my dad had built a little house, in the backyard, and I would play sister. I was a sister. And I had a little bell, and I'd ring, and they'd come running, and I'm teaching them 1, 2, 3, and, ABC. But when this little girl, Mary Patricia, had company, then she would call me a nigger.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nigger, yeah. Oh, I mean, that was so. And then when their company was gone, then she was right back playing with me again,
Oh, wow.
So one time she did that, and I went down. She lived with her grandpa, and I went down there and I slapped the mess out of her. And she never called me nigger again.
Let's see. Oh, this kind of goes into it. What was one of your most important friendships as a child?
Friends, I had a couple of students, that went to the same school. One named Rosemary Riley, and Louise Altman. And we were in the same grade.
Yeah.
And so when you graduate from grade school, you go into high school in the 8th grade. And I got in there, and not Mary Patricia, keep calling her. And then there was one little demon named Donna Pitt. And we had ink wells in our desk. You had the dip your pen in the ink well. She would take my braids and put them in the ink well. Oh, man. She made me mad and stole my boots. I don't know about me some brand new boots. She stole those. I think she stole my raincoat. And she was just messing with me. She was when somebody's meddling with them in school, what do you call it?
A bully? Bully?
Yeah, that's what she was.
Yeah.
She was a bully, and I was scared of her really because she was big and fat. I wanted to hit her so bad. Oh, Lordy.
And then the other two girls, Rosemary and
Rosemary and Louise Altman.
Okay.
Yeah, and they went to the same high school. They wanted to be nuns too. And this school was mostly for ladies that wanted to be nuns.
Okay.
But I went on over there to Boise, Idaho, and they said, "Oh, but you have to have your breast amputated,
Yeah.
and you can't have no hair on your body. You have to shave your arms, and everywhere else you got hair."
Oh, wow.
I said, "No, I'm sorry."
So the high school that you went to, that was more catered to women going to
Yeah, it was all
Did
women.
your mom put you in that high school?
Yeah.
That was your mom's choice?
Yeah, she put us there. And it was all women. And Janine and I were the only black one. And my sister Beverly, too. And when they graduated, I was the only black one in there.
Oh, wow.
In the whole school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I wasn't very comfortable. But I mean, you know, I never noticed.
Yeah.
But they take my hands and they, "Oh, you got white hair, you okay?"
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, so did you ever get like teased a lot? Ever? Like get teased for your skin?
For being
Did
black.
I have any cream?
No, like tease. You know how people make fun of you? Did people
Yeah.
ever make fun of you because of you being
In
black?
your color, yeah.
Mm-hmm. In school? Did you
Yeah.
get that a lot?
Yeah, they did that quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. And then, this is interesting. Where and how did, like, any news, how did that flow in your neighborhood? Like, was there newspaper, or how did the news, any current events, how did you
You know, the only current event that I remember was when my grandma got beat to death. And she was 92. She was living in Spokane, but my sister Nadine and her husband sent my grandma down here to Sacramento to stay. And grandma didn't like it. Because the kids, my sister Nadine, kids were teasing my grandma. So she called me one day and she says, "Katherine, I'm going home on Friday." That was on Monday. And I said, "Well, Granny, why don't you wait till I come up there and get on the train? I'll ride with you." She said, "I don't care." She said, "But I'm going home Friday." She went home Friday in a casket.
Oh, wow.
That was tough.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your grandma's name?
Hannah Coldwell.
Hannah
Hannah Coldwell.
Coldwell. Oh, okay. And then, do you know where she was from? Or was she from Spokane?
She was from somewhere around Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember the town, but
Yeah, that's where she grew up.
yeah. Mm.
And then did your mom, is she from Arkansas too, or did she move to?
Mm-hmm. My mom was from Arkansas.
Okay, so your grandma had her, and then they moved to Spokane.
Yeah, you know, but I never believed that my grandma was my grandma because she didn't look like me, nobody.
Oh, she didn't.
What did she look like?
She was hateful. You know, she'd buy food and she had a little cabinet. She put all her stuff in, bacon and egg, and she her shoe bottle and nothing in here. She said to us.
Mm-hmm.
And she waited 6 months and then she bring it out here, brunette, you can have this. Well, it's all morning.
Oh, wow.
You know, she do things like that. Mm-hmm. And then when my mom would go to work, I had a niece and a nephew, my sister's kids. One, my nephew's name was Dennis, and my niece's name was Ruby. And, oh boy, Ruby and Dennis, I took care of them, you know, practically raised them. And Ruby was 26, and her husband she married was 54.
Oh, wow.
And he had a wooden leg.
Oh, wow.
And Ruby was a NAACP participant, and she was coming from a meeting, and she went to put her key in the door, and her husband came along and said, "Ruby," and she turned like that, and he blew her head off, and it rolled down the sidewalk. And he did it in front of his kid, and they thought it was funny. They laughed and everything. So they're not too good up here.
Oh, wow.
They're grown.
Yeah.
And so she had Ruby and Dennis, And Dennis was what do you call a man that is messing with kids? What do you call that?
Pedophile, a pervert.
Yeah, he was a pedophile.
Oh wow.
And when we were coming up, me and my sister Janine, she would mess with Dennis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sexually.
Oh wow.
And I believe that's why he turned out the way he did.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. And so one morning he woke up and he didn't wake up. He died. But we didn't know why. And he was living somewhere else in California. And Ruby died, of course, in her kids, she had 4. And my husband, Mr. Baylor, we used to go there to Vallejo and to go pick them up and bring them to our house. We lived at 202 West Neville in Richmond. And we'd take them, entertain them, buy them sandwiches and stuff, and take it back. And they lived in a foster home. And I found out when they got home that the foster people were treating them mean. They said the woman would sit on the boy's lap and beat him. They told me all this after they were growing up.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know this was going on." Yeah. So Ruby had a daughter named Robin, a daughter named God, what is that girl name? Anyway, she had 2 girls. And they live in Sacramento. I was talking to one of them the other day, Robin. And Robin has 3 boys that have the same biblical name almost. Joshua and, Jordan and. And I met one of them, very cute, very nice. Very nice. And, I'm anxious to see him. She was telling me she's coming down, but she ain't met him.
Hasn't came yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a question back with school. What was one of your favorite subjects learning in school?
Spelling.
You like to spell?
Oh, I love to spell. And I got everything correct too.
Oh, wow. That's funny because I'm a horrible speller. I'm really bad at spelling.
Really? Yeah, just something about spelling I love.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And then what was your worst subject? What subject did you not like?
Arithmetic.
Arithmetic. That's math?
That's
Is that math?
algebra.
Oh yeah.
Geometry.
Yeah.
And all that.
Me
Couldn't
too.
understand that. It's like what the devil did I get this language?
Yeah, that's how I see. I don't know which one I liked, but with math, I felt like they were speaking a whole nother language. I'd be, what? How did you get that? That's
know.
Fun. Yeah, that's good. And then,
See, you should have sat in there, the better chairs.
were you in?
Oh, okay, Georgia.
No, we're just going out on the next.
Oh, okay. She's taking her dog out to go to pee.
When you were in school, did you play any sports, or were you in music?
Yeah, I played
or
basketball.
Played basketball.
And I was a runner.
Oh, okay, you were in track.
And I would always come in like second. This girl was the fastest white girl I ever seen. But I was always second, you know what I mean?
Always tried second, yeah. Did you do any other activities
No.
at that age?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. And then around that, when you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up?
A nun.
A nun? That was always your
Yeah.
main focus?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And did you want to attend college? Which was
Yeah, I wanted to, but I didn't do it right away.
Yeah.
And after I got disappointed from the nuns and everything, then I took up at nursing and dancing. That's what helped me with my raising my kids.
Right.
Because my husband never helped me. I did it all by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see her much anymore.
There's 2 directions I want to go, but I kind of want to stick to one and then get back to the other. You talked about your first job. You said you were 13.
Yeah, that's when I worked in this store called the Bon Marche, and I had to learn how to tack the dresses down into the carpet so they wouldn't,
Yeah. That's,
Put the pleats in, you know. Yeah, all that.
yeah. And then, did you like that job?
Yeah, I did.
You did.
Yeah.
And then, oh, were you ever out of work for a long time? Like, did you ever find yourself without a job?
I don't think I ever did. I was always doing something.
Something, yeah.
And I liked to work with a pencil.
Mm-hmm.
But I never noticed my work or anything.
Yeah.
Never,
Talking about that, when did you get started into art? When did you start painting?
I started doing that, just with a pencil.
Mm-hmm.
When I was about 13.
Okay, so drawing has always been.
Yeah.
And then so you started drawing when you were around 13.
Yeah.
And then it eventually turned to painting.
Yeah, I went to school for that.
Oh, you did go to school for it.
College.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
And then when did you pick that up? How old were you when you went to?
I think about 21.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got my certificate, and everything. But I don't know where it is. When I got ill, my kids just picked me up and took everything and threw it away. Like that, like it was nothing, but it was something to me.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything that I had when I was at my home.
Yeah, when you were in your apartment.
Yeah, but they had to bring me here because the doctors. One morning I woke up and my toe was black, and I used to bang my toe on the rollers under the bed. And Joe would say, "Mama, what's the matter?" And I said, "Oh, I just banged my toe." Nothing. One morning I woke up, my toe was black. And I went to the doctor and he said, "Oh man," he said, "we're going to have to cut that toe off." So they cut it off.
I actually remember this.
Yeah. And then about a week later, they cut my toes off. Then they went to my foot. They took my foot. Then they took my leg. Then it went over here. So they said I had infection. Yeah, gangrene or something like that.
Yeah, I actually remember that as a kid coming to the hospital and visiting you. And,
really?
Yeah, and this is actually something I remember is right before your surgery, and I remember Mom holding onto your leg and kissing your mole on your leg. I don't know if you remember that.
She was kissing my mole?
Yeah, because she was like, "Oh, you have such beautiful legs." Do you remember that?
Was that before surgery?
That was right before you went into surgery because we were there at the hospital when you were going into surgery.
Oh my God.
And then I remember her hugging and she was just kissing on your legs.
Oh my word.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.